What's happening, sports fans? Christian Pedersen here. We welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. This time we have the Valhalla Norsemen. So I'm trying to fit in a little bit where my limited amounts of orange that I have in my wardrobe. Guys, thank you very much for being on with us, especially considering that today was post some sort of a little bit of a workout. Coach was asking, has everyone showed up? How are you guys all feeling today? Let's start with introductions. Let's go left to right across the room here because everyone normally just knows you with a number and a face mask. So if you could give us grade, name, and position. Coaches, I always say that if you know what grade you'd be in at this point, if not, how many years you have been at your school.
My name is Khalil Plummer. I'm going to be a senior, I am a senior, and I play defensive end.
Technically, it's still going to be. School has not actually started for you guys, but yeah, we're closer and closer to that date.
My name's Ryan McMullen. I'm a defensive tackle, and I'm class of 2023.
My name is Ashaq Rahima. I'm a defensive end, and I'm going to be a senior.
My name is Brayson Madden. I'm a wide receiver, and I'm a senior.
My name is Dylan Cassian. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm a receiver and DB.
My name is Jack Barr. I'm going to be a senior, and I play offensive tackle.
Head coach Wayne Cherry. I would be in the 32nd grade. I graduated Valhalla, class of 2000.
Oh, a Valhalla alumni. So what year is this for you? This is first year?
This is my first year.
But please forgive me on this because head coaches, sometimes first year means that you were hired like 9 or 10 months ago. Sometimes first year means you were hired 4 or 5 months ago. So how physically long have you been on?
I got hired March 10th, so I've been there almost every day ever since.
So you've had close to, but not really like a full off season of prep with these guys. You have not been through like one calendar year even yet on campus. But you, like you said, you've been on campus every day more or less since being brought on.
6 days out of the week, yeah.
So guys, how was this morning? What was this morning? A nice brisk little something to wake you up on a Saturday.
Yeah, this is a nice little 8 a.m. workout, getting us right. A lot of bleachers ran, a lot of stairs ran, and just coach is pushing us to be the best that we can be.
So you guys are what? 5 practices, 8 days. Like I know that sometimes teams stack them 2 a days, or you meet X number of times. Like it's not quite your 6 days into football, but pads are back on. You're playing football again. If the season started tomorrow, which is a lot less of a hypothetical than when I've been asking this question recently, but if the season did start tomorrow, you had to put a number to it, 0 to 100%. How ready is Valhalla for football? And these questions are open to anybody. So answer on behalf of the offense, on behalf of the defense, on behalf of just the O-line. I'm just curious. 0 to 100.
I'd say 80. I would say about 80. So we've got some stuff we have to clean up, obviously. We have our basic plays down, but sometimes we get a little mixed up. So we still got to focus on actually executing the right plays. But overall, even though we have pads for a little bit of time, we seem pretty prepared, and I would say we're about 80% ready. Just got to get a little bit of everything cleaned up.
I think the core things that the coaches have wanted to teach us are pretty implemented at this point. Now it's more ramping things up.
Which is what? What has been the core that coaches are trying to teach everybody?
We've done a lot of culture work, a lot of mental toughness, a lot of that type of stuff. And just kind of building the building blocks that Coach Cherry's wanted to implement, with this program, and now it's just taking it to the next level, taking it to game day.
I feel like other than that, when it comes to game time, I feel like we're going to be perfectly ready.
Into the microphone, please.
I feel like when it comes to game time, we're going to be perfectly ready.
So obviously, the offense can always use. I've never met an offense that doesn't say we have room for improvement. We can always install more. We can always achieve more. But you feel like as a team, the base fundamental building blocks, you guys hit all your goals this offseason. You accomplished what you wanted to. The team isn't moving backwards or standing still. You're moving forward.
We're just moving forward.
I think defensively, also we're ramping up the intensity during practice. There's a lot of competition going on when it comes to that side of the ball.
No one's holding back at all. Everyone's going 100% every rep.
We're all pushing ourselves to be better.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from? I know that you guys said Coach has done a lot of trying to instill culture work, and that sometimes this can be a positive thing. Sometimes it can be a needing to yell thing. Sometimes you need to look back at last season and be like, that loss hurt us a ton. We're like, that sticks with us, or you just flood. Like, teams can approach a season from a million different ways, but where for you guys has that level, that intensity, all that mental focus come from?
I think especially, Khalil and, Ryan and, guys that have been here, Dylan that have been here for, 4 years, and through 3 different coaching staffs, we have had, bad records and bad years, and we just have not been good in the past. And that's, a major thing that's driving us is we want to bring, Valhalla back to, former glory and current glory. And we want to, just really get the program back into relevance, because, we have not been good in the past few years, and we really want that to change. And I think that's, something that we know, and that's something that the coaches know, and they also, apply that into pushing us into, working harder, getting that extra, 120%, 130%, 150% on these reps, and just pushing each us more.
You guys have been awfully quiet back there. What has the offseason been like for you guys, specifically for this team? What have you guys done really, really well that you're like, hey, this is what people need to know that we've been up to for the last couple months?
I feel like we've got a hunger, in us this season. We really got a hunger. Because, last season, we've lost some games bad, and, just building up from, those losses, we've, just been gaining this hunger for this next season and coming for these other teams.
Yeah, and we've been building that relationship as teammates. I mean, we've been working hard together nonstop, constantly, and feel like we are pretty prepared.
For you, Coach, coming back on campus, has it been, I'm not going to say you're preaching rah, do it like we did it back in the day, but has it been complete reset? Hey, we're trying to take this thing way back down to 0 and then build it all the way up for the, for the guys. Because obviously you guys, as a team, the last couple of years have had some really bright spots. You guys have had some great rushing offenses. You've had a couple great wins here and there. How far down to the studs have you had to take this in order to build it back up?
When I initially got on campus, I met some of these guys last year. I went just as a fan to the playoff game at Sweetwater, which was just miserable to watch. And I had no idea that the job would even open. So I had a little conversation with one of the guys that are on the panel here, and didn't set a good precedent for me how he was acting and stuff. So we, when I initially finalized my staff, we told them we got to teach these dudes how to walk, because and they've heard it back in my day, this and that. I'm 39. I graduated 22 years ago. These guys weren't even born. It was a lot different, but I try to not compare now to then and whatever. I just saw that it did need to be stripped almost all the way down. We got a great core of guys and a lot of good young guys coming up as well. But just teaching fundamentals, not just telling you, go block this guy, you got a down block here, but we're teaching them how to move their feet, how to move their hips, how to sink their hips, and, how to fit up and drive guys and stuff. So it's not just show them a play on paper, okay, go run it. We're giving them the tools on how to do so. Offensively, defensively, now working in special teams. It's all got to be taught. It can't just be assumed that these guys know how to or when to.
So what are we looking at this year? I don't want to necessarily ruin your secret offensive weapons or your defensive scheme that's going to revolutionize everything, but are we looking at run heavy, pass heavy? Is there some kids here, or the kids that aren't here in this room right now, that are going to have absolute standout seasons that we need to celebrate a little bit? Just give us the brief overview of what the 22-23
We're going to move the ball a lot.
Yeah.
I have a high hopes for our running back, Dominic Silva. I feel like we're going to move the ball in any way possible, but he's going to be one of our big highlight makers. And we have a lot of studs on offense and defense, but he's one player I'm really being excited for this year.
Yeah, and our defensive line too, really good so far, building it, and we're figuring out our starter situation right now. But overall, we're going to be a really good line core, not just a defensive line, offensive line too.
I think what we've preached a lot is, regardless of, what we're going to run it at 150%, and we're going to just be dogs, and we're going to try to just outwork people, and really just,
Did you say right tackle or left tackle?
Left tackle.
Left tackle.
Yep.
Okay, so you're one of the the quarterback is better protected by you than
Yeah.
most linemen that
Yeah.
come in here in a lot of these divisions.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the pass blocking aspect of that, or do you hope for more running off of that left side of the ball?
I love pass blocking. I've gone to a bunch of camps, this summer, and they mainly focus on the pass blocking aspect. They focus on, your feet, your hands. You're not doing run blocking one-on-ones. You're doing pass pro. And I believe, pass pro is a bit more of an art necessarily than, there's more components to pass pro than there is to run blocking, but I enjoy them both pretty equally.
Well, I
in my
asked you specifically because we talk to a lot of linemen, but very few at the high school level have it figured out that like, oh, I am exclusively this, or I'm a center under this, that, or the other. But all of them kind of acknowledge that left tackle get that bag at the next level, and then especially at the pro level. So is it one of those where you're like, man, coach, I would love to run the ball more, but you're also like, hey, there's a business decision. I don't mind doing some of this pass blocking?
I think there at some points, I like to just kind of say like, let's pound the rock
because it's fun to be physically just like I
Yeah.
get to go downhill on that poor
Yeah.
little shit, and I'm just gonna
yeah. It's nice, but you feel a little bit more in control of the play when you're an offensive lineman and you run the ball. So there are points where I like to say like, oh hey, let's run the rock. The passing game is getting a little bit this and that, and you just want to pound the ball as an O lineman.
Yeah, I just want to be in the. I want to be in the huddle when you say, "Yeah, no, we're gonna audible this to a run," and just try to see which one of these people that's smaller than you try to argue with you and say, "No, we need to do this play instead." Looking at the schedule, you guys open up with Hilltop. You got Granite Hills, Point Loma, Olympian, Santana, West Hills, El Cajon Valley, El Capitan, Mount Miguel, Monte Vista. I'm not going to repeat that for everybody. You can figure out how to go find the schedule online. It's not that hard. A bunch of sources for it. But maybe early in the season between Hilltop, Granite, Point, all the non-league games, is there one that you guys have maybe circled as we want another shot at that team, or we think that's going to be a good coming out party for us to show either ourselves or the county that, hey, this is a good test for us. This is where we're at so far this year?
Honestly, no. I just feel like we are going into this as a new rebuilt team. We're not looking at a certain game. We're going in there just to play football and see what we can do best.
We're just trying to show that we're not the same team as we were last year that would get either like we would win one game, then we would get decimated by every other team. We want to show that even if we lose by a small margin, we're not the same team as we was last year. We're a team that we're going to go 100% every rep. We're going to make sure we're not going to stop playing till that clock hits 0. So that's how we're going to try to show how we are. We're not trying to focus on, we want to beat this team. We want to beat this team. We want to show that like we're not the same team as we was last year, 2 years ago. We're going to pound every play and make sure that everyone knows who we are.
We're going in every game ready. We're
definitely going to turn some heads.
Yeah.
I just think we're excited to play every minute of football there is. It's there's nothing personal about it. We want to play football and we want to win football games.
Coach, where are we at numbers wise? Are you guys varsity, JV, and freshman? Varsity, JV, just varsity this year? Because every program, it seems like, is starting to bounce back a little bit from pandemic numbers, but not all the way there.
We're just running 2 levels, varsity and JV. We could have ran all 3 this year. That was my hope, but it would have been 22, 25 guys on a freshman and the same amount on JV. So we're going to have close
That's a deep JV team then, and that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, we have upwards of 50 guys that are going to end up being on JV. We keep getting new guys every day.
There you go.
Even seniors coming out that I think they're starting to feel it around campus, or some of these guys have helped recruit as well.
A little bit of buzz?
Yeah, there's a little bit of buzz.
Get some of these dudes out that I've been watching, and nobody, be real with you, nobody wants to come out and play football at Valhalla when you're going 3-8 and getting decimated in a playoff game. So I think with the culture change and what me and my staff have brought to the campus, and these guys can attest to it, and their hard work and dedication this offseason, we should turn around pretty quick. And I think these guys around campus are starting to feel it.
You say that you don't have a game scheduled or a game circled early in that season that you're like raw about, but who's the rival? Is it who? I mean, there's a school rival for you guys, but as a program, is there a rival right now that you're like, hey, this game later in the season, we got to get that one?
I think historically it's technically Granite, but we recently moved into the Grossmont Valley
Yeah,
League.
that's why
and-
I'm school-wide. No, just for you guys
Yeah.
as a program. Is there?
It's just
Yeah, just as a football team, do you guys have a rival that you pick?
as of this moment.
You don't have to.
no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think we
Looking to
have
make a new
necessarily
rival.
We just want to win football
treat
games.
every
We don't
team
care
the
about.
same.
We don't care about the team. We just want to win.
We scrimmage Montgomery next Thursday. That's who we're focusing on.
Okay,
right now.
Bill Belichick, get the hell out of my room. Enough of those cliches. Any new uniforms coming this year? Any new looks or throwback looks? Have black uniforms made their way onto Valhalla's campus yet?
I wish.
Okay, so another vote for absolutely not. Coach, go
I
ahead and tell them
wish.
why.
Black is not a school color. Going into next year, we're trying to raise as much money as we can now with online fundraiser. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you can.
We started our snap raise yesterday, and it's doing pretty good so far with that and some other funding and stuff. We're looking to get new uniforms next year. Won't happen this year, but we do have
I'm just waiting for the coach that shows up with a QR code on their shirt going, please donate to us.
You know what? That's a good one. Maybe I should pull it out on my phone. But
yeah, sure. Hold it up to the camera. Yes, Andrew.
that's all right.
That's Andrew Westling level fundraising.
Oh, right,
The guy at Mount Carmel. Yeah,
Yes.
that's his level
Love Coach
fundraising. Yeah.
Westling. But yeah, just I want to touch on something.
Yeah.
These guys, these seniors I'm their third head coach in 3 years, so they've been at a disadvantage. Learning a new system, new terminology, new work ethic, practice schedule, this and that. So watching from a distance, just as a Valhalla alum, and a big fan all these years, I've always paid attention to the games, even when I was coaching on the high school level or JC level. So what we did when we came in is we just started teaching fundamentals. Jack was playing center when I was at that game last year, and maybe some guard too. He was jack of all trades, literally.
Ooh.
But it's not the spot.
Get you a shirt. Get you a
I
shirt
would've
with
put him
that
in.
made on it.
But these guys work their tail off so far, and will continue to, Monday through Thursday, getting prepared for a Friday game, and then coming back Saturday mornings and continuing to do it. So the
Or
sky's the
Monday
limit.
through Wednesday, as it looks like some of these darn games this year are going to be.
Unfortunately, yes, yeah, we're gonna have 3 Thursday games, which is
So dumb.
It's a pain, but it is what it is, and these guys have been through worse, and I've been through worse, so we're gonna make it work.
Well, so then for you guys, it sounds like it's been a crazy couple of years, and we don't need to get into like this coach versus that coach versus the other. But having survived all this, what do you guys want the legacy of your senior class or the impact of this senior class to be on the Valhalla football program?
We want to be known as the guys who turn it around, the guys who change the outcome of our school seasons.
Yeah, we want to be known as the building ground. People who brought in that culture change that we needed.
Yeah,
I feel like if we do that, it's going to be best for Valhalla.
It's a culture thing. It's like a foundation thing. We want, our class to be the class where, the current guys that are freshmen, we want them to be inspired to work harder, and we want them to pass that forward onto the, the people before them and the people before them. It's like momentum. We want to build up the momentum for our program and build that up and have it snowball into something great that Coach Cherry, can, run with and use, for many coming years for his program.
You want Coach to owe you guys a couple of rings after you graduate,
Yeah.
because the program goes on to win a little bit. And you're like, Coach, you can send 5 or 6 of them our way. Just make sure Coach knows your ring size before you leave. Is there a hashtag? Is there a saying? Is there a motto that you guys have going this year? Some teams come in here with them, some teams don't. I just go Valhalla, go Norsemen.
We've used dominate a few times in the huddle. We want to dominate the competition, dominate our games, dominate the practice field, dominate off the practice field. Eating right, recovery, watching film, studying, all that, grades too. So.
I'm looking down the line that maybe the 2 guys to your right could benefit from that eating right a little bit more. So maybe stop hogging all the food that you are taking, share a burrito or 2 with some of your wide receivers. Coach, you listen to them come in and want to just do, it sounds like these guys want to do everything they can for you already. So for you, this has to be a pretty awesome feeling to walk in with guys so receptive to want to listen to what you got going on. So for you, what is the game plan, not just this year, but over the next 3 or 4 years?
We'll win some football games, get I've been telling these guys it's not for me, it's for them and for their legacy. They got 1 year left. These are all seniors. They got 1 year left at Valhalla High School. Let's be great, you know. Over the next 3 to 4 years, 10, 20 years, I hope to be the head coach at Valhalla. You know, we're trying to hang some banners. You know, if you go into our gym, there's one league championship. It's the saddest thing in the world. You know, you got water polo, wrestling, baseball, all this stuff with all these numbers up there from league championships. We have one. It was 06, I think, or something. That was 16 years ago. And we just been, you know, at the bottom of East County. Now we're at the bottom of D4. Back in my day, we were a Division I team. You know, we weren't world beaters or anything, but we were playing tough schedule, and you know, we still expected we expected to go into every game winning the game. We're playing Helix and Gross.
Well, you guys have suffered from a different loaded conference schedule than your water polo team has, or that your baseball team has. Having to play Granite and Helix and some of those teams consistently all the time puts you in a much different situation than some of those other programs. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so we're trying to win games. We're trying to change things around, and it's already happening. You know.
So there's still a little bit of room left on the bandwagon, or no new friends at this point. So do you guys want to be the underdogs perpetually that win D4 this year, or are you trying to be like, let's get some hype for you guys right now?
I think we're absolutely fine at being underdogs.
We don't want the glory. We just want to win. Yeah. We don't care if people think we're good or if we're not good. If we win either way, it doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah, you know, we want to simply just go out, win the game. We don't want to come in, everybody's thinking, oh, yeah, Valhalla's good, this, that, they're going to win this, that. We don't care. We just want to win.
Just a tad bit of the University of Miami, or like the 80s Cowboys in this room. They don't care about what anybody thinks. They just want dubs. They just want to get after it a little bit. Like we said, first game of the season is against Hilltop. We will have all the information on how you can follow them and how you can find them and how you can go check out tickets. Usually we close out with, do we need to give a gentle reminder to the student section, or does the student section turn out okay for you guys?
Our student section's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we get some crazy kids. I know
The water polo guys.
The water polo guys are some of our big supporters. They come,
Yeah, love 'em.
they paint their faces, take their shirt off, so whatever, they're hooting and hollering.
Water polo guys, we'll put that on the poll at SD Prep Insider on Twitter, on Instagram. Does a water polo player love any and all opportunities to take their shirt off? It seems to be the universal thing that they like. But yeah, I remember one of the games like the year before the pandemic, there was the dude there with Thor's hammer and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's a water polo player for sure. But so yes, they're good.
Yes.
They are approved. Does the student section have a name?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
I don't think we have a name, but another shout out is our band. Our band is
they're
pretty
amazing.
gnarly. They are
Really?
They are so impressive.
really
It's
good.
crazy.
Yeah, the halftime shows, when we're walking into the stadium playing the drums, and during the games, our band, they kill it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard workers too. Like
I've seen them in the off season.
They're like practicing for like 10 hours.
We see them do. I see them do conditioning.
Yeah, they're like actually.
They go out there and run
practicing.
sprints. I'm not lying.
And they definitely hype us up the most when it comes to game time.
All right. Well, let's get some love then going on our page for the Valhalla band.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them to do a little intro for the show or something like that. Do our theme music this year. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this year. Best of luck to the Valhalla Norsemen. Please go check these teams out. Look, you can't go wrong anywhere you pick in San Diego high school on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. That feels so odd saying that. It should be just on a Friday night. But wherever you're going to go, there's a great chance to watch something great, especially when it's a team like this that's just hungry for wins and going to maybe surprise some people. Thanks for tuning in, sports fans. We'll talk to you guys next time.